Yeah, I mean, these guys, they've done so much work to make it all the way to the finals here. We're going to give them a little bit of recognition. We'll take a look. Daniel Choi, DJC92, going to be playing the top lane for Amazon, is actually the newest member of this lineup. Was only hired by Amazon, I believe, back in January. He joined the team. He's working on the audio team with Boley. That's actually how they got to know each other, and he was able to secure his invite into the team.
And he's going to be facing off against Frozenfire, the top lane. Eric Sticks from Team Google. He is a software engineer. So he's actually making the Google search app for iOS. I said he's a Rumble player, but this time he's going to be busting out that teleport Jace. And he's also a musician and a dancer. So
man after my own heart.
That's
yeah.
Absolutely.
In the mid lane, it's going to be Wiraji, Peter Hu, with a summoner named Wiraji. Going to be taking this down. He's going to be one to really watch out for. Basically, Amazon's success or lack thereof can be kind of predicted by how well he does in the mid lane. If he gets out ahead, he can really snowball the game.
And with a LeBlanc pick, that's exactly what he's going to have to do because LeBlanc falls off so hard. He's going to be facing off against KT Flash in the mid, maybe channeling a little KT Rollster action on that. In order to prepare for the AHGL tournament, he's been scraping together enough money to buy some skins because, as you know, skins make you better.
Yeah, skins for
the
wins.
They really do. And he's going to be rocking that Twisted Fate.
He didn't really give us a whole lot to work with here. He's the AD carry for Amazon, and I believe actually in the other information that we got from him, he's like a Tristana main. That was like his big thing, and people asked him, well, what do you like about Tristana? And he just said, I get to right-click things and shoot people. Like, what else could you want?
Truer words were never spoken. He forgot about the Goomba stomping, but we'll get to that. And he's going to be facing off against Tomato Orange, Simon from Team Google. He codes and he solves problems. He's going to want to be solving the problem of the vein because the vein train, it can get it rolling. We're not even into puns yet, but we are going to be into this game. We are into the loading screen, and then we are going down to the supports, rounding off this lineup.
Yeah, Rolante's going to be playing support over here for Team Amazon. He's the only returning player from the Season 2 championship team that Amazon fielded. And look for him to try to do everything he can to basically sacrifice his own gold just to buy as many wards for his team as much as he can. He's one of those kinds of supports that really, really focuses on keeping the map vision up for his team.
And he's going to be facing off against Yarius on support. Owen Durney from Team Google. He designs and implements code. These Google guys really fleshed out their profiles pretty awesome, and he is going to be busting out the Blitzcrank. And finally, in the jungler, Boley with the fan club going off against Ravenite. So it's going to be the jungle... I can't believe I'm saying this, but a jungle Heimerdinger versus the jungle Nasus. I'm going to say I like the Nasus pick, but that's only because I've never seen a Heimerdinger. I haven't seen him in so long, and he's even got the Piltover Customs Heimerdinger skin, the Jaime, because what better way to do it? So, ladies and gentlemen, game one, Amazon versus Google. Hold on to your hats because it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, I'm a little sad that we don't have the synergy of the Piltover Customs Blitzcrank along with the Piltover. I mean, that would have been too great. It would have been a little bit too strong there. We wanted to make sure that these teams were on a relatively even footing. And an interesting play coming out here from Amazon to roll this up right in the beginning. They're just hiding out, camping this top lane brush. There's actually a ward down in the river from Google. So neither team really wants to look for a really hardcore level 1 engagement. I'm trying to think, because a lot of times if you see jungle Heimerdinger, it's really predicated on pushing very early. You come out of the jungle, you drop down a bunch of turrets, and you try to chunk down a tower very, very quickly and get a global gold lead for your team. So I don't know if Amazon have scouted this out, and they're hoping to catch someone running up to the top lane very, very early on. But so far, not looking like we're going to see a level 1 engagement.
Yeah, this is going to be 5 members of this Amazon squad. They're going to walk right into a ward, so they're going to be caught out by the clever top ward, defensive ward from Google, and their potential to drop Frozenfire before he even starts will be thwarted. They got peeked. We're going to see some pings coming out. Yeah, they're rolling in for the invade.
Yeah, they're going for the late invasion. They were hoping that they could catch somebody out, but that ward is just going to be so perfect at belaying that aggression. They're still going to walk forward here. There's not a whole lot that these teams can really do to stop this at this point, but they can just trade blue buffs, and that's, there's a ward over there, so they'll notice that their blue golem has been pulled over the wall by Blitzcrank, and Ravenite's going to go ahead and smite that down, trading blue buffs at level 1.
It's going to be a atypical start from both of these guys, but both of them are able to secure a blue buff. And with a champion like Heimerdinger, you have to have a decent start. And I wonder if they're going to be going for a bit of a cheesy strategy that we saw from, I believe it was Afromoo and some of his buddies going for that 15-minute, I think it was the 5-minute inhibitor, where they all rolled up to one lane trying to push it. And there are now 4 people mid, so I guess it's going to be an ARAM, folks.
Yeah, they're just going for that super hardcore push mid. Well, Raji actually took the blue buff there. Bully didn't grab that up. I don't know if that was intentional because it looked like it could have gone either way. The smite was just a little bit early. So having LeBlanc with the blue buff could be helpful, especially since she took Distortion level 1. It'll give her a little bit more of the AoE clear to try to keep the creeps off the tower. But right now, it's Google who are dictating the pace of the game. They're saying, we're just going to put Jace top because we're confident that he's going to outscale Shin. He's going to be more useful with items. He's going to be more useful with levels. And we're just going to bring everybody else here, and we're going to bring you the true terror of the God Hand.
And look at the damage coming out onto Vayne. Vayne having to chug down potions. This middle turret about down to 75% health, and it looks like Google does not want to stop anytime soon. This is their master plan. They said to me, we've got some strategies, but we don't want to tell them. Turns out it looks like this is, and they're also stalling out Bully from getting his jungle route going. And these three members of Amazon are having a shared experience. They're really losing out as Frozenfire facing off 1v1 against EJC in the top lane. This middle turret looks like it's about to go down.
And that's what Caitlyn is so up over this. The hook goes down onto Huigao.
Flash coming out immediately from AHGL. That was a great hook from Yarius, but they weren't able to convert the first blood. I wonder if Google was trolling me when they said, "Oh, we don't like to dominate in the laning phase. We like to hang out and wait for the team composition." Although you could technically say this really is a team strategy. The push coming out from the Caitlyn as well as the Heimer TF combo is just pretty ridiculous. With Yarius on security detail trying to get the picks where he can.
Yeah, we prefer to wait for the team fight phase, but we make sure that the team fight phase starts at level 1. It's perfect. Caitlyn, oh, another hook!
Oh, HK is getting caught out, and that's going to be first blood going to Tomato Orange. The flash shot from Yarius. He doesn't even need to pop his mana barrier. Tomato Orange takes a couple tower hits. That was a great play by the Google support player, able to feed his AD carry first blood, and a Caitlyn with first blood. Dear God, I fear for Amazon.
I feel like Google kind of painted themselves into a corner by picking up a hyper carry. Excuse me, no, Amazon painted themselves into a corner by picking up a hyper carry. You bring Vayne into a composition like this, she really needs a lot of gold in order to be able to do anything. She needs to be able to get close to people. She needs to be able to actually turn into that late game Vayne that we all expect. Early game Vayne isn't really all that much. Once she hits her ult, yeah, that's a little bit better. Level 6, she can pop the ult, she can start stealthing, tumbling around. People don't know what she is. She gets a good damage buff. But right now, Caitlyn is so much better than Vayne. And if they force these engagements, if they force Amazon to group up and try to actually fight against them, they're going to have no answer whatsoever for Caitlyn's range, for Caitlyn's traps, and for Caitlyn's early game damage.
Caitlyn really is a lane bully, especially going against the Vayne. Caitlyn going back and grabbing a Vampiric Scepter, Ghost actually being burned by Bully, but to no avail, so that Summer Spell's going to be down, and in the top lane, Frozenfire just beating the tar out of that Shen.
Yeah, to me, the thing that's going to be really, really crucial to this game is what happens once the top laners hit level 6. They're the only people who are really getting a lot of experience, and actually Google has sent Waraji down to the bottom, Amazon. I'm just going to keep screwing that up all day, apparently. Waraji's down in the bottom lane. He's trying to get a little bit of extra experience. They're sacrificing their control of this tower to get their LeBlanc level 6 and to get that mid laner the levels that she needs in order to be able to find people in isolated situations and blow them up.
And Waraji is doing a great job of getting those levels. He's level 5. Looks like he's about to hit level 6. He's 50% of the way there. And a LeBlanc, that is her weakest part, is that pre-6 area where she can't really farm under her turret that well. She can't farm in general. She farms champions. She doesn't farm minions.
Another hook on Bully getting pulled in. He's going to fall down. Raven Knight picking up the second kill of the game.
Yarius been completely spot on with that Blitzcrank, able to pick up another kill, getting those supports, and that is going to be the second turret for Google, looking to completely negate the laning phase. There's a joke going out with CLG saying CLG lanes and then they go to late game. They ignore the mid game. Google is taking that and turning it on its head, saying laning phase? What laning phase? We got a Heimerdinger.
Yeah, I mean, there can't be a laning phase if there's nothing defending the lanes. What's going to stop us from just rolling into the base right now? So far, it's just a Nami bubble and a Spirit Fire.
And to be fair, Spiritfire does a fantastic job of clearing everything out, but KT Flash, with those wild cards, getting some good pain down onto this Amazon squad. Looking at the farm on Gao, he's doing a pretty darn good job. Despite getting picked off for the first blood, he's picked up a Vamp Scepter as well, and he is even in minion kills. Taking a look at the gold, 1,400 to the Caitlyn's 2,200. So he's fallen behind, but it is still very early. Too close to tell, Malthus.
Exactly, and that's what Amazon are counting on. They're just saying, okay, we just need to extend the game right now. They're going to have a global gold advantage. You see, it's 2,500 gold in favor of Google. And that's what Google were trying to get by pulling this kind of composition. They just try to take Vayne out of it, try to give themselves enough of a lead as a team that Vayne is never really going to have an opportunity to get into the fight.
And while all of that has been happening, looking at the top lane, Frozenfire building himself a pretty nice individual lead, 56 minion kills, a Mana Moon already to DJC's 39 minion kills. He just has that Fort Pot as well as the Ruby Crystal. 2,500 goals to 1,800, and the Fort Pot, it's been the go-to item for most top laners.
Oh, it's so effective right now. It's going to get nerfed in an upcoming patch. They're going to just crank that the cost up, so people don't just start with that. But check out Raven Knight starting. He's got a ring for each finger. He's just coming up here. He's like the Super Bowl champion Heimerdinger.
He is blinging it out. Flash coming in, but there's the Shen counter. Wiraji going into flash, counter flash, cleanse, but Tomato Orange getting caught up by Bully. He went into the wrong brush. Bully picking up the kill, gets caught by a trap, but this fight is not done. And Wiraji, his clone is extremely low, and his real self is dead now. Frozenfire rolling in with a cleanup crew. Yarius about to go down himself. DJC getting that with a dagger, but that is going to be a double kill for Frozenfire. I wonder if he's going to look for more, as DJC potentially going to get wrenched to death. He's looking for the counter kill onto KT Flash. KT Flash trying to go. The blind goes, but the stun does not. KT Flash somehow still alive, but the rockets, it's going to be a 1-for-1. Raven Knight picking up the kill, but DJC not dying in vain.
I mean, that's a situation as a Shin player where you're just screaming at your energy bar. Just come on, just go, come on, I need Red Bull. I just need more energy. He just barely was able to take that down right at the last second. And what we saw was that Wiraji wasn't able to get big enough fast enough. He was able to avoid the front line altogether. As you see, he's trying to dump damage down on Frozenfire. It's still not enough. He used a full combo on Tomato Orange and wasn't able to delete him from the field. And if he can't take Caitlyn down before she's able to respond, it's going to be incredibly tough for Amazon to fight these games out.
And look at the pain coming out already from Frozenfire. That is the person to watch. How hard are those acceleration gate shot blasts hitting? And right now they are hitting pretty darn hard. Aim to see a Brutalizer coming out from him fairly soon, but right now he's just got mana, he's got attack damage, and he wants to use it.
He's just trying to buy as much early, cheap AD as he can. This is entirely what this team composition is predicated on. Getting as much damage out of the Shock Blast as they can, sieging people up under their towers, making them fear the Blitzcrank, making them fear the Shock Blast, and so far it is working.
Yes, they are, as Rolante getting completely chunked out. This inhibitor, middle inhibitor turret, folks, just as a time count, this is 10 minutes in. A middle inhibitor turret just went down, and Google rolling in to potentially look to take down this middle inhibitor. This early in the game, Malthus, if you're Amazon, can you even handle super minions?
Well, the thing about it's kind of a two-edged sword, because it's going to be tough. Like, pushing them out of the base, you're going to completely give up map control. But you will be getting free farm. That's a lane that Google will not be able to farm at all, because it's going to be in your base pretty much the entire time. DJC going in.
Taunt going down onto KT Flash. KT Flash getting out of there, and DJC getting a card to the face, but Wiraji rolling in the back, deleting Wiraji. He said, I made that mistake before, I will not make it again. But Frozenfire on a killing spree. They are closing in onto Bullet. Frozenfire, he turned to melee form, but he will not be able to get in range. But what Google will get, almost certainly, because Tomato Orange is still up, is gonna be this middle inhibitor.
Yeah, they
10 minutes in.
10-minute inhibitor, that's never fun, but it will give them that opportunity to farm up. Where Raji wanted to do a lot more in that fight than he was able to. He missed the chain. He was trying to get that down into KT Flash and then burst him down with just the E and the Q, using the second proc off of Sigil of Silence. He wasn't able to land that, so he had to switch and actually commit more spells to just that. Wasn't able to turn back around and use anything on Tomato Orange. And because of that, Amazon, they just didn't have the firepower left. The cooldowns were all down. They couldn't turn back in onto Google the way they wanted to.
And nobody really has an answer for this extremely fed Jace. He's got that kill streak bonus, so he might be the next target for Wiraji. But Frozenfire has been spot on. They left him alone, and he has been taking that advantage and running with it. But now Google, the foursome, they are rolling down to the bottom lane. They just want another turret. Maybe they just want another inhibitor.
They're just going for so much early game. I mean, Flash has picked up 2 Doran's rings. He's got a Sapphire Crystal that will eventually become a Sheen, but right now it's just so that he can keep spamming out, get a bigger mana pool, so he'll be able to use blue card whenever he needs to. It's very, very less, I should say it's less often that he'll have to draw a blue card for mana. He'll be able to pull more gold cards to help his team out with their engagements. He's also got the Null Magic Mantle just to keep Wiraji from being able to 100-0 him.
It's a smart choice coming up from KT Flash. Taunt going out onto Frozenfire. Frozenfire, Jace is actually a surprisingly squishy champion, so Frozenfire taking some good damage for that. But I want to talk a little bit more about this quadruple Doran's Ring build plus a blue buff. That is one of the most bizarre builds I've ever seen, but considering the strategy, it makes perfect sense. As Wiraji goes in, not able to get anyone, the rolling tides miss everyone, unfortunately, for Amazon. And the push, Malthus, the push continues.
They're not giving up on this at all. Google aren't going to rest until they've taken down every single building on the map. They're not going to give Amazon even a moment to breathe.
They certainly aren't. 18,000 gold to Amazon's 14,000, so a 4,000 gold lead. 12 minutes, 34 seconds, 7 kills to 4, 4 turrets to 0. This is early game pressure at its finest. The most literal early game pressure I have ever seen.
They're just sieging up on this. They're just pushing down. This is almost reminiscent of some of those IEM Singapore games where people were just crashing towers as quickly as they could. You'd see like 5 minutes in, 2 towers down in a single lane. It's not quite at that level of accelerated gameplay, but it's pretty close. They love putting Jason a 1v1 against Shen because they know Jason's going to be able to do more in siege situations than Shen will be able to. So every time they have a 4v4 in one lane and a 1v1 in another, Google's getting further ahead.
They certainly are. Fire able to finally take down. So he won lane. We had a laning phase. It was just only on one lane. So Fire has one lane. And talking back to what you were talking about with the IEM Singapore, they actually had a laning phase.
Right.
These guys didn't have a laning phase. They completely ignored it. A lot of buys coming out from the side of Google. Tomato Orange able to pick up that BF strategy, so he's going to be rolling into a Bloodthirster in the top lane. Fire grabbing the Lucidity Boots, so yeah, it's all going to be about throwing out as many Shock Blasts as he possibly can to continue siege it down, and a Morello Namacon for that Heimerdinger. Jungle Heimerdinger, pretty massively fed considering he didn't really go into the jungle at all.
Exactly. I mean, this is such a fantastic early item for him. It's going to give him every stat he could possibly want in a very, very cheap, efficient bundle that actually has a little bit of extra utility. There's not going to be but so much healing coming out from this side. They don't have a designated healer. They have Nami, who's going to be doing a little bit, but she's not healing like a Soraka. She's not healing like a Sona. It's just going to be little bits here and there as Raji gets chunked, and here comes the TF ult.
Destiny popping in, but
oh, he's going bottom. Never mind.
Yeah, he's just gonna hang out with the teleport coming in from Fire. He's going to join his team, and now it's going to be a full-on 5-person push from Google. Inhibitors pushing in. It's too early to be able to have one person just roll in and handle those super minions. So Amazon, they're back there against the wall as the grab goes down onto Bully. Bully getting strapped down. There's the combo. Ravenite on a killing spree. Rolling Tides once again too late as the chains go out onto Ravenite. But a Shock Blast and an ace in the hole are going to fire Wiraji back. He has almost no HP as this bottom inhibitor turret goes down.
Yeah, they just completely seed and control this inhibitor. Another hook!
Another grab go down on Rolante. Rolante dies as Fire takes another scalp. He's 4-0-2 at this point, and the bottom inhibitor going down. That's 2 inhibitors for Google. 15 minutes in, they are looking to just wrap this one up in a hurry. Raji not being able to do a whole lot. He is able to dash out and survive, but beyond that, first Nexus turret goes down. Shock Blast going in. The entire Google team are just suffocating. Amazon has another grab, goes down onto Raji. Flash going out for Ravenite on a rampage. That is a 4-0-5 Jungle Heimerdinger, ladies and gentlemen. KT Flash getting taunted out. He flashes, as is his namesake. Gao popping his ultimate. He's going to put as much damage down as he can, but he does not have the items to do it as the minions roll in. This is going to be game 1 for Google. Who would have thought that kind of composition, but boy, did it work.
That was, oh, they just took it out. No one saw it coming. Amazon had no clue what was going to happen. The Heimerdinger push strat was just so strong so early on. And as you mentioned, there simply wasn't enough power on the side of Amazon to turn those super creeps back.